Good evening, televiewers. You're welcome to Prime Hour on my Media Prime. This evening, we are going to be learning something about the people of NSAH. We are going to be talking about Ngonnso, the founder of the NSAH clan or tribe or dynasty, lady described by the people of NSAH as the great unifier, the warrior who founded the clan, and after her death, out there in the NSAH land, northwest region of Cameroon, an artifact was erected to honor this lady who founded the NSAH clan, and that artifact actually was kept at the NSAH palace. It is said that after the departure of the Germans from Cameroon, they looted the palace of NSAH and took this artifact of Ngonnso, the lady who founded the NSAH clan, to Germany. And as we speak, it is said that the artifact is found in a museum in Germany. So a movement, the sons and daughters of NSAH, came up with a campaign asking for the return of that artifact, that statue that represents the founder of their clan. They say that many things have gone wrong in the clan because Ngonnso is weeping. Ngonnso is kept as a slave in a foreign land, and they have been working tirelessly for over 30 years for the return of the person they consider as the founder of their clan to NSAH, the motherland. That is a statue of Ngonnso representing the founder of the NSAH clan and dynasty. This evening we are going to be talking with members of NSAH, sons and daughters of NSAH, who are going to be telling us what they have been doing so far to ensure that that artifact that we saw in honor of Ngonnso returns to the palace in NSAH. So we are in the company this evening of two gentlemen and two ladies, very powerful from the NSAH, who are going to be telling us what they need to do, what they have been doing, and how they hope to bring Ngonnso back to the land, so that once again the people of NSAH are going to get the ancestral blessing that they have been yearning for so many years. We are in the company of Tadze Adamu Mbiydzela. He is the Douala branch president of the NSAH Development Association. We're glad to have you. Good evening, welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Kum, and nice to be with you.
This is the second time you're coming on Prime Hour.
Yeah, and it's always a pleasure being there. You have a very nice channel with very good programs, attracting a lot of viewers. Okay. So congratulations for that.
Thank you. We also in the company of Wirkom Tani Irene kpunyala. She is an advisor to the NSAH Development Association Douala branch, a women's wing. We are glad to have you with us.
Thank you, Mr. Kum. I'm so happy to be here today to talk about our matter.
Okay. We also in the company of Miss Hermine Tala Jumbam. She is a very active member of the women's wing of the NSAH Development Association. Good evening and welcome.
Hello, Mr. Kum. It's a pleasure to be here.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm looking forward to talk about our founder, Ngonnso.
Ngonnso. You must be weeping inside.
Definitely. Inside. We are bleeding, not just weeping. We are bleeding because we want Ngonnso back.
When I have seen interventions, presentations done in Berlin, where she is, I've seen some documentaries about the people. So when you listen to them talk, and it gives a feeling to want to cry. It's like our mother is out there.
That's true. You can imagine a home where the mother is out there. It's as if she is out there in the rain, and in the house, we are looking for her.
Okay. We also are in the company of Kilum, Dr. Emmanuel Fai, who is also the chairman of the NSAH Cultural Renaissance Initiative. He's going to be participating in this program all the way from Washington, D.C. in the United States of America. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Kum, and happy to be here with you this evening that we are going to be talking about our young Ngonnso that has been in captivity for so many years, for more than 118 years. And the Nso community is weeping, looking for that day that the spirit of their mother will come to be with them in the dynasty that she founded herself.
I'll start the program with you, Dr. Emmanuel, out there. Yes, that is, we are talking about Ngonnso. You describe her as young Ngonnso. Who is Ngonnso?
Let me start by greeting our audience, especially the Nso community that are in pain, suffering, because this, our mother, young Ngonnso, has been in captivity for so long. I call her young Ngonnso because of the respect that she deserved. Her name was Ngonnso. Ngonnso was the founder of the Nso dynasty. Around the 1394, Ngonnso left the Adamu region of Cameroon from the Kimefondom with her two junior brothers, Charien and Jumbam, traveling towards the grass field of Cameroon. And when they reached, they separated and ended up in different areas, in different regions. Ngonnso, whom by respect should be called Young Ngonnso or Young Ngonnso, founded the Nso dynasty. Charien founded the Bamum dynasty, and the other brother, Jumbam, founded the Ndam or the Nitam dynasty. So without Ngonnso, the mammoth Nso kingdom will not be in existence. And if you see also elements weeping today, it is because the spiritual mother, our spiritual mother, the sculpture that we used to worship on behalf of peace for Nso, has been languishing in captivity for more than 100 years in Berlin, Germany. At one point, when this sculpture was found by Dr. Kishani, the Nso community started getting a lot of interest on the restitution of this, our sculpture. And the Germans took our mother, our spiritual mother, and locked in the bunker basement of the NOLINGA museum. And she was there languishing in pain. And because our mother is languishing in pain, we have been suffering back home. There is no peace in Nso, because the epicenter of peace in Nso is in captivity. And this campaign is aimed for all Nso elements to rally behind the first NSODA initiative so that we can join hands, fight and bring the spiritual mother back to the dynasty that she founded herself. So without this, our young Ngonnso, we should not have been in existence. There should not have been anything like it. So we are here because of her. And we are going to continue the fight until she is brought back to the land that she founded herself.
Yes, Chairman of the Nso Cultural Renaissance Initiative, you say she is in captivity. How do we understand that a statue, an artifact, an effigy is in captivity? Is it the mere fact that that effigy is not in Nso land?
Thank you for that intelligent question, Mr. Kum. To a lot of people, they might be looking at it as a sculpture or as an artifact. That, to us, is not an artifact. That sculpture, as people are seeing like that, is a spiritual mother, the founder of Nso. There is a lot attached to that sculpture that was made on behalf of Ngonnso. Before that sculpture was taken away from us by the Germans through stealing, we used to worship that culture, the sculpture, for peace to be in our land. So to us, it's not a statue. And for us, the Nso people, to see our spiritual mother locked in the glass house like it was displayed today at the Humboldt Forum, everybody is tears. I mean, every sons and daughters of Nso, we are crying, both back home and abroad, because we need that our mother. To some people, they are looking at a statue, but that's not a statue. That is our spiritual mother, released from captivity so that she can be brought back to the kingdom that she founded herself for peace to return. Most of the women in Seoul are suffering. Our fund is not in Seoul. The major reason is because the person who founded the kingdom is in captivity. And we have been fighting for our young Ngonnso to be released for more than 40 years now. After the return of the Wirkom to come in 1973, we started getting the ground that, okay, we can also fight for our spiritual mother to be returned to us. So we are not going to relent our efforts until we have the restitution of young Ngonnso back to the fundum or to the kingdom that she founded herself. Okay. She is not a sculptor, she is not a statue, she is our spiritual mother.
Okay. Dr. Emmanuel Fai, thank you for these explanations. She Tadze Adamu Mbiydzela, the president, branch president for NSODA Tala. Yeah. Do you have the impression that Ngonnso is weeping where she is out there in Germany?
Definitely she should be weeping. If I can expand a little bit on the ideology of the sculpture.
Yes.
If you go back down memory lane and you read art history, you understand that the Greeks used to have the incarnation of their gods and goddesses on the sculptures and statues of their heroes. So you can understand why the sculpture of Ngonnso is described as our spiritual mother. It has a lot of spiritual connotations. It has a lot to do with our African traditional religion and with NSODA traditional religion. It is our identity. And so when we have our cultural festivals or annual events and our fund, His Royal Highness Mbiydzela, who is the paramount fund, and by extension the priest, the high priest of our land, when he has to perform his rituals and the annual sacrifices that go with us, Ngonnso is supposed to be there. She is supposed to be the beginning of everything. And so when we can't have her with us and we cannot be able to identify with her physically because she is elsewhere, we can describe that she is in captivity. I saw the image today inside a glass, and with the young lady, Miss Njobati Sivi, standing beside the statue, and I could sense even from that distance that deep connection, that deep relationship between myself as a son of Ngonnso,
okay, that's it,
and that statue. Exactly. That is Miss Sivi Njobati. If you look at her at that age, she's been fighting tooth and nail as a daughter of Ngonnso to make sure that that statue should come back home. Where it is standing is not where it is supposed to be. Its right place is
at the palace,
is in Ngonnso. And there's a particular spot and a particular environment prepared which is sacred for her to be there. So if she is not there, she is considered to be in captivity.
Okay. Madam Wirkom, Tani, how did Ngonnso find herself in Germany?
Ngonnso found herself in Germany during the period of German Protectorate of Cameroon,
okay,
around the 1884 to 1916. You can imagine that the people came, the German came here and signed trade pact with the funds of the South and decided to penetrate the interior. You know, they were not supposed to go. They had no trade links with the people. And within the short period that they left, we realized that they were not happy to leave because they saw the glories, they saw the fertility, they saw everything that was good in the Ngonnso land and wanted to stay. Since their period ended, they started fighting the war, which they did a lot of harm to the people. You know, they burned the Ngonnso palace, they destroyed so many valuables, and those which were very valuable, they took along with them. And that's how we believe that it was during that period of looting, because they had no trade power with us. Before you consider they bought it, they had no trade power with the Ngonnso people. They came and bought it. The Ngonnso people valued their mother, and they kept her in a place where they used to go to consult for fertility in the land. For if they want people to really be fertile, they go there and pray. If there's no rain, they go there to consult and say, Mom, we don't have rain, do something. They offer their sacrifices. And they decided to go with it. So it is that time that they took the statue away, and it is believed that they ran away with it. That's why we are here. If you see a Ngonnso woman, when they start singing, especially our mothers, they sing songs of lamentation, talking about Ngonnso, you will start crying. You will not be happy, because it is something very valuable that is lacking with us. Besides other important things, you know, in Ngonnso value the statue, even the seat where the phone sit is very valuable, and nobody is even supposed to touch it. Even if I go to the palace now and the stool is there, I will bend down to the stool because it represents friendship. And these people took away all these valuables. So that's why we cannot be at peace. If you see when our mothers are singing and talking about the suffering that the German caused them, you will know that this statue is not any kind of statue. It is a spiritual mother that we need to honor. Like you see in the Catholic Church, when you see the statue of Mary, people honor. The Ngonnso is a land of culture, and that statue is just to us like our culture, like the Mother Mary. And you know how important that statue is to us. When you believe in something, it happens to you. If you believe that you are going to have a cure by doing this, by even just praying, you will get cured. That's the same that our culture is based on the presence of the statue of young Ngonnso. You know, when there's a problem, when there is a problem in the land, there is a scuffle, they go and console her, and people will be in peace. But since our departure, there has been no peace in Ngonnso land. You can even see that even with the present situation, the one in Ngonnso land is the worst. So the people are believing that it's because of this statue which was looted away that everything to us is falling apart.
Okay, the situation back there is not good. Good evening to you all in the studio. I think Ngonnso statue should be allowed. From all indication, the statue is doing well in Germany. Can we say that it should be allowed in Germany? It's better to be in Germany than Cameroon, talk less of Swaziland because of the prevailing situation. Yes, but some people may think that because of the prevailing situation, the campaign should not go on. We should wait until the campaign. No, we rather have it, and when things get back to normalcy, we get Ngonnso back to the village.
On the contrary. We need Ngonnso back
now,
to happen.
More than
we have ever needed Ngonnso.
Okay.
It is difficult for me to call Ngonnso a statue. I know that's a statue, but
okay.
That's young Ngonnso to me. And it is at this particular moment that she should be back so that we have peace. She is an epitome of peace. If you go back to when Ngonnso arrived in Scotland and met the Ngonnso, that's the 30 families, and negotiated everything about the founding of the Ngonnso kingdom, the Ngonnso Fundum, you will see that she is somebody who wants to rally people together in a peaceful manner. And if you see, she negotiated in a way that she got her son as the fund of the fundum of Ngonnso. She knew very well that a woman should not be a fund. After her negotiations, she yielded her position, and her son was the first fund.
Okay.
And in that manner, that's a peaceful lady. And at this particular moment that we have all that is going on in Scotland, if Ngonnso comes back home, there will be peace.
Okay, so people think the sons and daughters of Ngonnso think that they have been abandoned for so long by their mother. and maybe the mother is not too happy also where she is, and you think that when she returns, things will fall back to normalcy. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Your topics are always very interesting. Ngonnso should also disturb those people in Germany like Wirkom did, so that she should be brought back to Scotland. Maxeline is writing from Yaoundé. We are going to watch a short clip of how Ngonnso actually looks like out there in it's a festival out there in
the Ngonnso festival.
Yeah. Let me have a very brief clip of the Ngonnso festival.
They are calling on each and everyone to make way for the Kibana Corps, and after that the program is going to continue, and the Bamila delegation will just make one step to the right and squat, let the Kibana Corps come down, and then we continue with the program as we earlier announced. And so the outer court is now getting down.
Okay, Madam Wirkom Tani Irene, when we watch these videos, what feelings? When last did you attend Ngonnso? Are you missing this festival?
Oh, it gives me a lot of nostalgia going back home. The last one I attended, it was so wonderful. You can even see the crowd. No son or so will like to be out when it is Ngonnso period. Because you feel at home, you find this harmony existing. And at one time when they start singing, you feel that the people are still missing something. If these young ones were there, you will see that our children who have not been even used to, when they go, they will be having snapshots, they will have a lot to write when they go back to their various schools. So it is always a period everyone longs to be at home. Because it is very wonderful. We see all sorts of culture, things that our ancestors did that we did not know is usually display of all the variety of culture during that festival. And you feel so proud. You see all these foreigners, the strangers coming to see what culture is. You know, so culture is our identity. And anytime you talk about Ngonnso, everybody will be happy. Even my grandchildren who are out of the country, they already start singing about Ngonnso. You see them singing in Lamso, you will not believe, because that is what the Father has put in them. Without that, our culture in so man is nothing. We value our culture next to God.
Okay, so after God is the culture of the Nso man. Miss Hermine, Tala, and Jumbam, you miss Ngonnso now?
Of course I do. Why won't I miss my mother?
It's also, no, I'm talking about the festival.
Oh, the festival. Okay, of course, the festival. I miss the festival, and that's a great example for you to see that.
It's a time of refreshing.
And also rallying people. That is Ngonnso, that's young Ngonnso, bringing people together. Even in her absence, people are still coming to talk about her, to remember her, commemorate her. And you see, that's a rallying cry that young Ngonnso would make now in the situation we find ourselves. And it's really painful that we cannot continue with that, going annually to have this festival.
Because of the ongoing crisis.
Yes, the ongoing crisis in our area. And that's why we're crying that if we have young Ngonnso back, she will rally people. No matter if we call her statue, she will rally people. People will come around young Ngonnso, and you will find peace.
Okay.
So we miss her.
Okay. Now, what we just watched there. Can we have another tape of these young warriors? The young warriors. I don't know how they call them, but I think I have their name somewhere. Can we have that video, please? Closing the Ngonnso, yeah. Okay, we are going to get over to the United States. Dr. Emmanuel, we just saw these young warriors. Can you elaborate, tell us who they are and the significance to the Nso clan?
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Combs. Actually, they are not young warriors. They are called the Mekang.
Okay.
Those are the secret cult society that crowned the end of celebration of the Ngonnso festival. So they are coming to show to the world that they are here still working without clothes because they want to honor their mother who is not with them. And you can see, if in the absence of Ngonnso, the population of Ngonnso can rally together like that to cry for their founder. You can imagine what will happen if the spiritual mother is restituted back to the land that she founded. That day is going to be the biggest joyful day in Nsawam land. That will be the day that our land will be cleansed before Ngonnso comes in. The peace that we desperately need will come to Nsawam land. And everybody is not really can see that Kumbu has been the epicenter of so many calamities. And one of the major reasons for that is because the spiritual mother is languishing in captivity. And those young guys or the young Minkang, they are telling to the Nsawam community that we have to rally like how they are doing to bring back our spiritual mother to the fondom that she founded herself. And if you look at the history of the grass field, it's so special to be saying that a fondom was founded by a female. All of us know that women, especially from the Tikari region, are not crowned fond. So Ngonnso was a woman of phenomenal character, filled with wisdom, has the tenacity that was more than that of a man. And we desperately want her back. Our plea is for the Germans to return this, our spiritual mother, back to the fondom so that peace can reign again in our land.
Okay, now, Tadze, today we are talking about the campaign to bring Ngonnso back to Cameroon, but 40, 50 years ago, we were not getting. Why were you guys silent about it?
40, 50 years ago, or close to more than a decade, more than a century rather, the person was already contented and the mind was already resting on the fact that, okay, Ngonnso is gone. They were working with the challenges they have. Until, like you hear Professor Kishani, during his research and investigation, came across this statue. Immediately it was announced that the Ngonnso
has been found.
Young Ngonnso has been found.
Okay, it means the people were not aware where it was taken to. Okay.
Immediately it was announced that Young Ngonnso has been found. Things changed.
Okay.
Like the Ngonnso festival we just mentioned. It used to be called Ngamliwong, the week of the culture. Immediately, Young Ngonnso was found, the name changed. It became the Ngonnso Cultural Festival. And it came in to celebrate her, to weep for her absence, and to celebrate a woman. Because if you look at it very keenly, everything around the Ngonnso fandom revolves around the woman.
Okay.
Yeah. The women have played some of the key and the leading roles in the evolution of the fandom. And I think her negotiating power, as Madam Hermine mentioned, is that attribute that has been transmitted down memory lane to this generation. We have a society that easily agrees. If you watch at that festival, you realize that next to the secret calls, the Ngiri and the Wirkom calls, in between them you have a mosque. Not far from there, a little bit up, you have the cathedral. But let us just limit ourselves around the mosque. That we have a mosque sandwiched between two top secret calls. It is unheard of. That should be able to paint a picture of how the Ngonnso community can be able to agree and live in peace and harmony. And I mentioned the fact that the Ngonnso festival, from when it was instituted, is celebrating the woman. We have so many women that we've been celebrating in Ngonnso in every dimension. And it appears as if the growth and development of every aspect of Ngonnso is linked to a woman. If you know that Ngonnso has the reputation of having the some of the best health institutions in the country. You can never talk about the Shison General Hospital without talking about Sister Camilla. You can never talk about the Banster Baptist Hospital without talking about the famous midwife called Weisenberger. You can never talk about the NSODA community to the end without talking about some of the strongest women whose works are expanding even beyond the boundaries of NSODA, like the St. Franciscan Tertiary Sisters of Shison. They are women, which means they are holding some of the pillars that are responsible for the evolution of the NSODA land. If you track down even in music, the musicians you hear today and so on, if you want to do your research in music, you realize that one of the top singers noted in the NSODA land, and some of us listen to her music with nostalgia, and despite the fact that we didn't live with her, it's called Ya Wibabin. So Ngonnso Festival is a celebration of a woman.
Okay.
And from when the statue was our spiritual mother was identified, we shifted to her celebration with the hope that it rejuvenates in us that spirit of unity, that spirit of love, that spirit of oneness. But now it seems as if knowing that she is where she is has even stirred a lot of trouble for us, because as time goes on, we have a lot of challenges. Some of the things we never used to come across, we now have them. I can bet you that when I was growing up as a little child in my community, it was difficult to hear that something was stolen. Meaning that if I picked a 25 francs coin along the road, I had to look for a way to secure it and keep it beside the road, or take it to the quarter head and it will be announced. But you can bear with me. With the present situation, people are even kidnapped, people are even harassed, objects are seized from people. That is not NSODA. That is not the spirit of Ngonnso. Now we are living a shadow of ourselves because our mother is not there.
Okay.
And nobody can ever be herself without the mother.
Okay. Now, I will go over to Dr. Emmanuel out there. I read here that the campaign also seeks to open up a dialogue between the people on NSODA and the Germans. What has been that dialogue process? What concretely has been happening?
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Kum. For the past 3 decades, the NSODA community has made tremendous efforts to dialogue with the Germans for the restitution of young Ngonnso spirit. His Royal Majesty, Franz Mbiydzela I, has written numerous letters to the Germans for the restitution of young Ngonnso through NSODA initiative. Currently, the first NSODA is fighting tooth and nail to have a dialogue with the Germans so that the spiritual mother of young Ngonnso can be returned to NSODA. The NSODA has written a letter to the Cameroon Minister of Culture requesting for the assistance of the ministry to assist in the restitution of this young Ngonnso status. But one thing that is very baffling to Ngonnso people is the Germans claim that this was a gift, or they bought it. If the Germans bought this young Ngonnso, how could a NSODA person or the fund of NSODA sell something of a spiritual value to foreigners? That's practically impossible. And if they claim that they bought it, can they show the receipts of purchase that it was sold to them? Obviously, there is nothing like that. So we are still pleading with our Germans that because many items in so many African countries, like the whip and the Bible of Namibia that has turned to Namibia, young Ngonnso should follow soon for peace to return to NSODA land. And we are pleading with the Cameroon government to hear the plea of a sort person, popularly known as Wirkom, to intervene so that we can have our spiritual mother back into the land, for peace to return to Scotland. Because we know that a peaceful sort person or a peaceful sort land is the epicenter of peace in Cameroon.
Okay. We have even young and so artists, youth who are engaged in this campaign. For example, I saw one very brief document by Yeza Lizzie, who is an artist, a young so lady who is engaging in this campaign, calling for the return of Ngonnso. Let's take a look at what she has to say.
I'm very happy to be part of this campaign on bringing Mama back. And I want the public to know that we young people, we are awake now and we want to connect to our culture. I would like my campaign to spread like wildfire. So collaborating and working with other artists will help me to get the word out more. And not only that, it will also help the other artists to go back into their cultures and look into their cultures too. There's a lot of disrespect. It's sacrilege because she does not belong there. She's like in bondage. She's supposed to be with us, and her absence has caused a lot of chaos in our community. She's someone who brings everybody together. When she comes back, she'll bring peace, she'll bring us together. Knowing that I was able to do that for my community will mean a lot to me.
Okay, now we come listening to her. Actually, I feel something different. I don't know whether you felt what I feel. I also felt watching her to say that this is a fight for all. Almost everybody is into this fight for the return of Ngonnso, and then the fact that as young as she is, she understands the true value and worth and the meaning of Ngonnso to in some person.
Really, you can really feel it. You can feel the pain that she's feeling. You know, at first they were fighting on individual basis. People like Dr. Kishani, Dr. Tangwa, and so on. Sylvie, they have been fighting individually until they have even raised the pity of some of the Germans who are out to support us to bring back the Ngonnso status. So we are pleading that the Germans, even the Ministry of Culture, should help us to bring Ngonnso back, because it is really giving us a lot of pains. Women feel as if they are marginalized because this woman, you can imagine that when she came as a woman, there were 30 families which were already existing in so the first inhabitants. When she came, what did she do? She brought a peaceful negotiation with them, and after a tussle, they settled on a pact where they agreed that all inheritance will be from our own lineage, and the fund of the mother of the fund will come from one of those 30 families, and that's how we have existed till today. You realize that when you know that you cannot enter, like somebody from the Meron, one of the Ngomba houses, cannot go to the Meron. And when you know that this is for the princesses and princes, you cannot stay with your foot there. You take your position. You know the stratified and coexistence of Banso man is because of this woman, a strong woman. Because you can see that when she was coming, she had her own follow-up, and they present Nsawam Palace, and everything has been peaceful. Nsawam speak almost the same language and respect each other, respect for hierarchy and so on. So young children like this, they know that they gain a lot by being from the Nsawam origin, more than some other people who don't have respect for elders, respect for property, and so on and so forth. So I feel that we are going to stand like one, the NSODA, the women wing, we are going to follow the men, and we are going to go any length to be able to bring back our young Ngonnso.
Miss Hermine, Tala, and Jumbam, I read somewhere that the fact that Ngonnso is not there has brought the biggest identity crisis in the history of the Nsawam person.
Let me go back to when Ngonnso and the siblings, they left as they were going. You see the bravery, and the only woman who, the two brothers, they were going their own way, and he took the opposite direction. She was brave, and she went along, and she made the 30 families, made the negotiations, and as you see, as she just said, the lineage, the fandom was started, and in the fandom with the 30 families that she met there, the fund always had to be from her own lineage. Okay. So you see, she's brave. A young lady like Yeva Lily, who is lamenting there, she's a woman. And you see, you are the founder of your land, of your kingdom is a woman. With that bravery, why will you not at least want the founder to come back, so that the woman, the bravery of the woman remains there, the peace-loving woman who rallies people together, brings peace. Why won't you really lament and want her back?
Okay.
She's everything to a woman.
Okay. Someone who is watching, Edwin is writing from Bonaberry, says that, good evening, Mr. Leo, I'm from Nsawam. Please ask our father in the house that I wish to know if there is a father in Nsawam, because I have only been hearing of Ngonnso.
Thank you very much. If you listen to the explanation she just gave, the
brothers went some.
The brothers, the leader of the Fumban dynasty and the leader of the Mbam dynasty, they went their ways.
They are all brothers.
Yes, they are brothers. Yes. And history actually puts it that they left ahead of her. They didn't want her to follow them because she was a woman. It's just like a boy is going on an expedition and thinks that a woman would be a nuisance. So they kept her. But when she came and discovered that they've even pulled the little bridge off the stream so that she shouldn't cross, okay, she started following the bounds of the river until she went and settled at Mbiydzela. History traces her through Mbiydzela right to Kovifum. It's a very bushy environment, very swampy also, with a lot of mosquitoes and a lot of troubles you can imagine. Fatal as the land might be, she kept moving until she comes to an environment that is safer. And from where she was, with a lot of adversaries, before she finally descended and the Fondom found itself, or the headquarters, in Kumbu. Now, if you look at the history very well, you realize that she came and met some families, some men, and I don't have any information.
30 families.
30 families. It is said that orally they negotiated. She probably got married to one of them, or maybe she came up with somebody who was like a husband. I don't have details, but she was the leader. She was the princess. Whoever she found along the way and had a relationship with, it remains. The truth is that she was the leader. She was the princess, and so the Fondom is always identified to her. I've not had information about the father or a man. Maybe historians, if historians were here in the house, they should have been able to give us through more light on that. I'm sure people like Professor Fanzo, Professor Kishani, Professor Tangwa, and Gad Shinwe or Joyce Yaya, those are some of our strong historians who have been very interested in some of these stories. And I think Emmanuel Bongaman, they should be able to have information related to why we talk about Ngonnso and we don't talk about a father or the man.
Okay, but from what I gathered from you guys, there were 3 of them, one sister with 2 brothers.
That's right.
One brother went to
start the
Fumban dynasty. Another one went to the Mbam, where the Bafia people are. And then the sister went to where we have Kumbo today. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu and the NSAH people in the studio. Those Germans committed a lot of atrocities in West Cameroon. The Fontaine people of Libya Lem division have a peculiar story. They took our Bangwa queen and other important artifacts away after Fontaine Asongani decided to come out of hiding because his people were dying as a result of the gossip some people did to the Germans. Mr. Temken, I'm writing from Mutengene. Good evening to you. Good evening, Mr. Liu and the panelists. Today's topic is an interesting one. Our culture, our identity. I wish to find out if this statue was stolen, sold, or presented as a gift to the German colonialists. Hoffman is writing from Germany. I'll ask this question. Can you help answer this question of Hoffman? Was Ngonnso stolen? Was it sold or presented as a gift? Dr. Emmanuel.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Kum. Let me start by going back to a little bit of history. The first Germans to reach the Zoland was led by Lieutenant Colonel von Powell. The Powell report does not clearly state when they were on their way to Banyo and they reached Zoland. But the report stated that they had a good time with the NSAH people and they shared palm wine with His Royal Majesty, the Paramount Fon Onso von Sumbung II, who reigned from 1875 to 1907. And the report also stated that before the Germans entered Kumbu, von Sumbung II offered them a ramp. That's a really peaceful visit before they reached Kumbu. And there's no report that stated that the statue of Ngonnso was given to them as a gift or they bought it. Then the second German expedition that arrived was led by Captain Hans von Rabne and Habish. They were exploring the region for product buying capabilities. And when they reached they had a very good time with the fun of Zoh. They shared plenty of palm wine, a lot of pre-century times with the fun, but that report does not indicate that they were given anything of spiritual value, such as the sculpture of Ngonnso or the Kaba or anything that was of cultural value to them, so community to them. Then the third Germans that arrived was led by the Lieutenant von Huber. Huber coming to Nso was a nightmare for the Nso community. They left Bamenda, arrived Kumbu on the 3rd of June, 1902. And when they arrived Kumbu, they have sent a message to the phone for some of the demands. And when the report claimed that when they arrived Kumbu, the demands were not made. So they decided to mount their camp. And he was in the company of armed soldiers and carriers. They mounted the camp in the Fondom of Nso. Then Nso, being a good, loving people, heard that the Germans had mounted a camp in their palace. So they decided to come to see what was happening the next day, which was June the 4th. Between the hours of the report stated that between the hours of noon and 1 o'clock, Around 120 men has gathered around the palace. The Lieutenant Huben feared that they were going to be attacked by the men and decided to attack the Nsawam palace. They incinerated our Nsawam palace, stole most of the items, and some of the ivories that they could not carry to Bamenda, they decided to bury them. Most of the historians believe that it is during this period or during this particular time of Huben visit that the statue of Ngonnso was stolen from the Nsawam palace alongside the cover. Nobody touches a cover, nobody can touch their hands because these are secret objects. There is also the big gong that was stolen from the Nsawam palace, as well as the big drum, they call it the Kimbagar. And some of the valuable items like the leopard skin, the guns, and some of the spears that are very valuable to the Nsawam community. This item later on arrived Germany around 1903, and they were placed at the Ethnological Museum in Germany. So Ngonnso's statue is so much of a big value to the Nsawam community and to the Nsawam fandom as a whole that any fund or any person in Nsawam could not have given that out, because annual sacrifices were being performed on this particular statue for peace to reign in our Nsawam land.
Okay.
Since that sculpture was taken, the peace has not been there. And I want to really thank His Royal Majesty, the Paramount Fund for something Lord the First, for the fight that he has been fighting for this sculpture to come back. I equally want to thank EDGARD, who has done tremendous amount of work fighting for Ngonnso to come back, alongside Mrs. Joyce Yaya. I equally want to thank Mrs. Sylvie Jobati, who has really been a tremendous rallying force, a cry for all women for this our sculpture. And before I can go, let me thank the president of NSODA, Mr. It's time for me, Stephen. He has done a marvelous job. He has attended conferences in United States, in Germany, talking about the statue of Ngonnso to come back to us. And I equally want to thank our coordinator, Banjika, who has been doing a marvelous job to see that we rally together to bring this, our spiritual mother, back home.
Okay. This one says, please, we need our mom back for peace to come back. We need her. Okay, thank you there for, we hope that she's going to come back here. Yes, with the campaign and almost everybody joining. We also have one very important society in the dynasty. They call it the Nwero. No, let's first take a look at the Kibalanko, face to face with the Fonom So. Okay, I'll stay with you, Dr. Emmanuel. Tell us a little bit about the Kibaranko, dreaded by many persons. What is the position of the Kibaranko in the overall traditional setup of the Ngonnso person?
Thank you so much, Mr. Kum. The Kibaranko, as everybody sees there, is the most dreaded masquerade in Scotland. In Scotland, we have two secret societies in the palace. We have the Ngiri Society, which is for the princesses, or for the princess in the palace, and they do it. Then we have the Mwirong Society, and the Kibaranko is from the Mwirong Society. So the Mwirong Society is responsible for maintaining discipline and peace in Scotland. So as you see Kibaranko celebrating like that, they are celebrating Ngonnso, the founder of the dynasty. So the position of Kibaranko in Scotland is does not have a clear position that I can articulate to you. It's a secret court. And trying to explain the position of Kibaranko would mean that I would have to be giving out some of the secrecy that is embedded in
especially the fact
society.
that we have women on this platform. Especially the fact that we have women on this platform. Yes.
That is so true. I cannot go as far as explaining the position of Kibaranko. We all know that the most dreaded masquerade that is feared by everybody, and it cannot dare come beside a woman, but it can come beside our spiritual mother, because our spiritual mother, Ngonnso, founded the dynasty.
Okay. Thank you for that explanation. I understand now. Yes, because we know how we get into those things. This one says, good evening, Mr. Liu. We are in crisis there is no Christ. So what we need in Cameroon is the Lord Jesus Christ. Okay? Yes, we need Jesus Christ. This one says, I thought you were going to be discussing how the PM has gone to deceive his own people. We're not discussing the PM. There's going to be a special edition on the Prime Minister's visit to the Southwest region tomorrow as from 9:30 a.m. on my Media Prime. We're going to be discussing that visit. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and those on the panel. Mr. Liu, history is good. Many people will now know that the Ngonnso people originated from Tikari in the Adamawa region. People who know where Tikari is will understand that there is no boundary in Cameroon. Mbu Zakari calling from Vikovi, Jakiri subdivision. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Was there any cause for their migration? That is history. Topic for another day. Yes. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Please ask our mothers in the studio if they can recall the name of the man who designed the original image of Ngonnso. Very no. Danny Cash is writing from Kumba. Oh, yes, quite. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Kindly extend my hearty greetings to She, Tadze, and Co. Absolutely. It is a very good initiative to bring back Ngonnso, but my worry is where will you be keeping young Ngonnso? I think she is in peace in Europe. Kids are home and war is taking over the land. Have fun out of the palace, and our priority is to bring back the original Ngonnso from Germany. I can drum for such an occasion. I am Tamfu Mbonso, writing from Yaoundé. Yes, but we need Ngonnso because the return of Ngonnso is also going to bring many more things into place now.
Yes.
Yes. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I think the Ngonnso people should perform spiritual power so that the Germans can bring Ngonnso. I'm Thomas, writing from Bambili. Good evening to you, Thomas. Yes. Good evening to you all in the studio. It's Fournier Louis in Bamenda. I wish to know if the Ngonnso which the Germans took was carved or was built like its replica that we find in the palace today. Is there Ngonnso in the palace today?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is in Germany is the original?
Yeah, that's the original. It's called.
Okay, so what is in the palace is
It's a replica.
a replica of the original that is in Germany. Okay, good evening. I'm Clovis from So. Wish to know the first indigenous people who were there before the So people came, because I'm worried with history. Oh. Those are the people
who were there, yes. 30 family in Ntar.
Ntar means 30.
Okay. So the 30 families were there before the arrival of Ngonnso.
Yeah.
And they are still there.
They are still there.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm Venu Basiru at Tui. I'm very happy for the program. I miss my homeland. Good evening to everyone following this program. Okay. Mr. Liu, good evening. I believe that Ngonnso is okay in Germany. Otherwise, the people keeping it would have been disturbing them. Wilson is writing from Bamenda. All these practices are we not worshipping idols? It's only God that brings peace. A fetish carving. Okay. Who is writing there? Yeah, but I want us to also take a look at another picture or a video of the Nuero. It's a secret society.
It's a society from where the Kabaran comes.
Okay, can we take a look at it? Tadze. I see these people, I get scared. Who are they?
Like you can see, they are the distinguished members of the Ngwerong Sanctum, and actually, what we are seeing there is called Yengiri. Okay. Yengwerong, sorry. There are actually two. In the Ngiri Sanctum there is Yengiri, and the Ngwerong Sanctum there is Ngwerong. If you look at their steps and their actions, there's a lot of reverence, there's a lot of order, there is serenity, there is peace, and there is a unique way in which they are trying to do things. Those are the protectors of the land. That's a society that makes sure there is peace, there is justice. If we have a dispute, imagine we have a land dispute over a little boundary. If the Ngwerong comes there, or the Ngwerong comes and pins that bamboo you are seeing there, it's called by Ngwerong. It's an injunction that neither you or myself should be able to pass there any longer. It's like saying, okay, so if you are fighting, then I own it. The owner of the land. Together with the fund, they are the supreme rulers of the Fondo.
But let me get back to Dr. Emmanuel. Doctor, we see the Kibaranko, we see the Ngwerong, we saw the young warriors who demonstrated in the Menkang. To say that Ngonnso actually is above all. Is that true?
All right, thank you again, Mr. Kum. You can hear as Shaitan was saying. He was saying that is the Ye Ngwerong. He didn't call it Ngwerong. Ye means mother, the mother of Ngwerong. So that tells you that women has a special place in society. It's not called Ngwerong, it's called Ye Ngwerong for a reason. This is because women play a very important role in the society. And when as you are looking at that procession of the Ye Ngwerong, you could see what we call Warriensa. Those are the children of Ngwerong that the members of the court were carrying. And the Ye Ngwerong, which is the mother Ngwerong, was coming and blessing the two children. Those two children stay permanently in the Ngwerong sanctum in the paramount fondom of Ngonnso in Kumbu. And for those people asking the question that if Ngonnso come back now, will so stay? My question I'll ask them is, where are those little children of Ngwerong staying? Are they not staying in the palace? And they have been staying there. So if Ngonnso come, she will stay where she rightly belongs, and the peace will come because we are suffering. All of us are in pain because Ngonnso is not there. And like Tadze was also mentioning, if you go to the Ngiri society, like the Ngwerong is for we call them the Chilaf, the Ngiri is for the royal descendants. We call them the Dui. We have the Yengiri there, but we don't call it the Tangiri. Why we don't call it the Tangiri? We call it the Yengiri because women play a very major role in the society, especially in the culture and tradition. So the position of women in Seoul is not something that we take for granted. And the coming back of Ngonnso, the mother of the land, that is even more powerful than any other person in Seoul. We bring peace and unity that we desperately need in our land today.
Okay, let me take a few messages. Evening, Mr. Liu, I'm Yai Terence from Boom. I like your program. We are in the same problem. I would like that the white people should stay their way and let the black be on their own. Okay? Seems as if the people of Boom have a similar problem. Good evening, Mr. Liu. When I watch the images of your media, my mind reflects back to the time life was good in and fine in Seoul. Okay? Yes, you're writing from, I don't know. You're writing from Vikovi. Okay? Good evening to you. Good evening, Mr. Kum and the great African from Seoul clan. Restoring African culture and tradition is a great positive Pan-African movement to bring back stolen peace and Africa unity that have been stolen by the Western world. They come to Africa, destroy their culture by blackmailing it and introducing their own Christian culture. Describe African status and artifacts as idol, and instead to take them and destroy, they take them and go into the museum in Europe where African people pay and see. Writing from Etablissement Zuma Metal Technique, in Melong. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm Goran. Rebecca writing from Yaoundé. Please, I wish to know who Ngonnso's husband was and why nothing is always said about him. He was not the founder of... Yes, he was not the founder. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Some people can report Germany. Abdel is writing from Bamenda. Okay, you mean that some people can report Germany. Yes, but I'm sure that's what they are doing. They're engaging in talks with the Germans. Yes, that's what they are doing. Hello, Mr. Leo. Good evening to your panelists. I wish to know if there are still some people talking Bafia in Saltland. Max Beguni is writing from Dusseldorf in Germany. Okay. Let the insult people do everything to get back their mother. That is what makes them insult people. It's their root. There is nothing to negotiate with the Germans, even if it was sold or was a gift. Please go get it. These white people did also a lot of terrible things to us, the Africans. Young Ngonnso is yours. To get it, no negotiations. Please go and our great grandmother, cause she is not happy there. Paddy is writing from Balinyonga. Good evening to you, Paddy. Good evening. I'm Moven Jerry Gaston, son of She Emmanuel Mbui. From the history of Ngonnso, my dad told me. It all shows that Ngonnso was stolen by the Germans, and also the bridge was destroyed in order not for her to cross. And we want her back in order to bring peace in land. Uncle Leo, good evening to all in the studio. Please, I wish to say, if Ngonnso is as powerful and spiritual as the Nso people claim, why not teach those white people a lesson with her spiritual powers? Why has she stayed quiet this long without reacting if she really wants to go home? Auntie Martha is writing from Kumba. Okay, please tell everybody to believe in Christ. Yes, they believe in Christ. That is why, besides the cathedral is not too far from the palace, and then there's a mosque. Yes, not far from the palace also. Greetings, good evening, Mr. Liu. I am Fonui Bernard from Kumbu. Our main problem of the Nso land is not the captivity of Ngonnso. Rather, the problem of our calamity is the fun who has and still, okay, he joined politics, thus dividing and bringing chaos to our land. Yes, that is why they want Ngonnso to come back to fix all of these things.
Yes. Bring peace.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. It's Brendaline Veye writing from Yaoundé. I wish to ask what it takes to bring back the Ngonnso back, if that's the only solution to bring back peace to Nso. If that's the only solution, then it must be taken serious. Okay. Yes, so many messages, but people have been quiet for some time. Let me ask this question. They say that it has been more than 118 years that Ngonnso has been in captive in Berlin, locked in a basement, and will now be exhibited at the Humboldt Forum. At the pleasure of the public that has no understanding of what Ngonnso means to us, a total mockery of the people of Nso. Is that how you feel?
Exactly. Yeah. They don't know the value of Ngonnso. We want Ngonnso because we know her value. Why should they keep it? Why should they keep her? They should release her to us so that we can. And in fact, if Ngonnso comes, there are so many things that are going to happen to us. If she comes back, many people will come to see Ngonnso, and they want to see this cherished Ngonnso, and even have a view of her, and even visit us. And this is going to improve our economy. You know, people will come there, they will pay hotels, they will buy food, they will come and stay. We improve our standard of living. So we need Ngonnso back. Okay,
the people of Nso know the value of Ngonnso. They will rally around her every year for spiritual fortification or whatever. But the whites, they will just go and see a statue and that's it.
Take pictures.
Take pictures. It's a symbol of unity.
Yes.
And cultural renewal.
Miss Hermine, it's also said that the Ngonnso is a symbol of unity to the Nsot people. The return of Ngonnso will bring peace in the following conflicts. Is that true?
That's what we know, that if we were to bring Ngonnso back, Ngonnso will be a rallying factor for the different factions that we have now existing in that we have this. It's a conflicting situation, and if Ngonnso is back, Ngonnso has that spirit of rallying people. So people get together, and once people are together, many things will follow, because you have peaceful discussions will start cropping up, and then and I believe even people who are saying that Ngonnso should, if Ngonnso we are that strong, Ngonnso should let the people deal with the people of Germany so that they send her back, so that we can get her back. The fact that Professor Kishani was able to find Ngonnso, I think Ngonnso, was crying there that I'm here, before it happened that Professor Kishani had to go and discover her, and the whole scenario started that we are looking for Ngonnso to come back now. So Ngonnso is not quiet there. She is not at ease. She is crying for her people to bring her back home.
Good evening, Mr. Liu and the great African panelists from the Nsot clan. My regards to the community, for they are true African people. Understanding the love of a Nsot man to their culture and tradition, and again spiritual nature of Africa, backed by their culture and tradition, I strongly think with that no delay, the Almighty God of the Nsot land, Ngonnso, should be brought for peace to reign in the Nsot land. Fokem Valles, writing from Melon. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and greetings to all the panelists. I'm joining the program a bit late, but wish to ask that who made this statue that we are talking about? Was it the Germans or the Nsot people? This is Paul, writing from Simbok in Yaoundé. It was done by the Nsot people. The Germans just came, and when they were leaving, they took it along. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and to my wonderful cream of panelists. Voltage is a barrier to some of us. My warm greetings to Miss Jumbam. Esther is writing from Kumba. Okay, greetings, Mr. Liu. Please, I have a question to the Nsot people. Can the statue of Ngonnso bring peace in Nsot land? Finally, how can the statues help in the emergence of Cameroon by 2035? Simon Ta is writing from Buddha. Okay, Kalis Choka says, dear traditions is tradition. If you can't respect your parents, God would not be happy with you. 2,000 years ago, when Jesus was making the history of Christianity, our forefathers had their own history. We won't throw it because of Christianity. Okay? Good evening, Mr. Liu. I like your outfit. You really resemble Nsot man. Emil is writing from from Jutin. Good evening to you, Emil. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm Lagai Romanus Mbiydzela in Bamenda. The young Ngonnso is a peaceful mother and should not be compared with Wirkom, because she is compared to Mary, the mother of Jesus Christ, as other panelists rightly explain. That is the mother of peace, cannot cause chaos or war. Okay? Wow. Different interpretations. So, yes. Greetings to you, Mr. Liu, and panelists. Ngonnso being a lady, ladies being peaceful by nature. I think Ngonnso is thus silent and not a problem in Germany. Ngala Divine Foni, writing from Moliko in Boya. Wow. Yes. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Those German explorers who stole this young Ngonnso, all of them are already dead. How will the present German government allow the status to the people of Nsot when there was no relevant document to testify that it was stolen or it was bought? Yes, that is a question that many persons will be asking. But I think, good evening, Mr. Liu. I wish to ask, at the time of Ngonnso, who was the king? Was she the queen? And if yes, why is it that we now have a king in authority? I think these questions have been taken down so that we can clarify the audience. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Is Moreno calling from Tico? What prompted NSOH to interrupt with the white up to the level of German taking the status away? Okay. Good evening to the panel, please. What is the relationship between the founders of NSOH, Nka, and Biame? Is Larson writing from Bamenda? Good evening, Liu. I'm Bakatula Fonui from Kumbu, and I wish to know young Ngonnso was having biological children and which community in NSOH is her descendant. Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Thanks for the good job. Is Alaji Amadu from Jakiri. Okay. Hi to Mama Irene Tani. Okay. She got your greetings. Evening, Mr. Liu. Just want to greet you guys over there and thank you for this program. Wonderful program by Nzenui, writing from Yaoundé. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Etienne from Makenene. Please, if the Ngonnso was that powerful as they said, why can't she come back home herself? She was not taken there by herself now. Why do you want her to come back by herself? Greetings, Mr. Liu, to you guys in the studio. Thanks for bringing up an interesting topic this evening. I have two questions for your panelists. I wish to know if Ngonnso was stolen or being sold. That question has been answered already by a doctor, because to me, if it was stolen by the Germans, and since the panelists called it their spiritual mother, it therefore implies there is a spiritual power attached to it. Okay? Thanks. I'm Ghana Gideon, writing from Bamenda. Good evening to Moven Jerry Gaston, son of O'Shea Emmanuel from History. I read that message already. Good evening. How are you doing? I'm Jackie. My name is Mubarak. Okay. Good evening. I'm very happy for what happened and the way. The way Ambazonians are killed. It's not good. Hi, Mr. Liu. Good evening to you all. Please, Mr. Liu, I wish to ask if Ngonnso was that powerful. Why can't she come back? Okay. So many questions being asked there. Dr. Emmanuel, I don't know whether I took note of some of them. Can you provide answers to some of the worries raised?
Thank you so much, Mr. Kum. They are asking question that if Ngonnso was that powerful, why can't she not come back herself? She was taken there, so they had to bring her back. She did not go there on her own before people are asking that she should come back on her own. That is why we are embarking in this campaign of first SODA to bring back our spiritual mother to the dynasty that she founded herself. Some of the question was, why was Ngonnso not made a fund? We know that according to the Chikari tradition, women are not crowned as fund. That is why, and Ngonnso was not a power monger lady. She was a peaceful lady, full of tenacity, a lot of wisdom. And that is why when she founded the kingdom and entered into the oral treaty with the Mbiydzela, they agreed that her son, some of the people have called the son as Le, other people as Ja, will be made the first born of NSOH. So it is clear that she was not a power monger person. She was a peaceful lady, and that is why she accepted that her son should be made the born of NSOH.
Okay. Did you take any of the questions? Or
there was a question that asks about why there's a king in authority now, and it is just answered now that Ngonnso wasn't a power monger, and right from the beginning, in the course of the negotiations with Tanzo, she actually placed her son to be the king, and it has been like that till now. There are so many questions that have come up challenging the spiritual or the spirituality attached to Ngonnso. The fact that we are soliciting and campaigning for Ngonnso to be brought back doesn't make us unbelievers, or it doesn't make us idol worshippers. We are firm believers in God, the maker of heaven and earth. We are Christians, we are Muslims, and in addition, we are...
The Africans?
No, we are part of the NSODA religion.
Okay.
The NSODA traditional religion. And to imagine that we can just dash it away is being conceptually colonized, where we might always think that it is what was brought to us that is the best. No. We are a people. We have an identity. We have a culture, and we came from somewhere. We cannot suddenly become something else. So, besides being Christians and Muslims and so on, we are NSODA people. And what we are asking for is what identifies us. It is not taboo. We are not transgressing any moral law. We are actually doing what is right.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I want to know the person who discovered Ngonnso in Germany. The smart writing from Commander.
It was Dr. Kishani who discovered Ngonnso.
Okay. Dr. Kishani?
Yes.
Okay. I hope that message has gone through. Daddy Liu and Co, good evening to you all in the studio. I feel so excited as a true African and lover of culture to contribute. I pray that the NSODA people who closely correlate with the Kum people should seek to know how the Wirkom destroyed everything in the American Museum and fought its return back to Kum, so that the Ngonnso could be brought back home. She can't be comfortable there. Jumbam Maria, writing from Yaoundé. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm surprised some people, especially the learned professors, are following the shadow of the 21st century. If people can reason and are serious, if they want peace in NSODA land, they should instead go to the grave where she was buried in NSODA land and beg her than following a mere status. Okay. Kilo Constantine, writing from Boya. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I love your program. It's Ruth, writing from Chang. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I think if the government of Cameroon wants to preserve our culture and values, it should assist the people of NSODA to bring back Ngonnso Mbu Romeo, writing from Limbe. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Is Neighbor Collins from Bafut. If she is that powerful, why don't her deal with the Germans? They're powerful than her. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I love my town, Kumbo, my hometown. My name is Zebedi from Makenene. Now, the ongoing conflict in NSODA land is heavily touched. Are you worried? Do you think the return of Ngonnso would help anything?
Yeah, surely. Ngonnso is a spiritual mother and a peace-loving mother. When she comes, we believe that there's going to be peace. She's going to rally all her children together and talk to them. She's going to bring even the paramount fund who have been out for some time back to the palace, and peace is going to reign. They are going to offer sacrifices that everybody will be touched, and we'll start thinking of uniting and being like one that we have always been.
Okay. It is also thought that the arrival or the eventual return will bring or launch an era of reconciliation amongst the daughters and sons of NSODA.
Definitely. When people are fighting each other, they don't get together.
Yeah.
And if Ngonnso were to come back to NSODA, Ngonnso will rally people together. And once you get closer, there is the platform for dialogue is open. So people with whatever differences were there before, they will find a platform where they can discuss, talk together, and be peaceful.
Okay, and be peaceful. Hi, greetings to you and the great panelists, especially to Irene, Tani. Okay, good evening, Mr. Liu. As Ngonnso will be back, let her not join any political party. Okay, Mr. Liu, I'm very thankful. Yeah, guys. Some of you guys are not really fair. But they says that the entire land will be cleansed and made whole again by the presence of the mother of the land. Ngonnso was known to be full of strength and unity and will do anything to ensure the safety and well-being of her children.
Definitely. Like I mentioned a while ago, the fawn is the spiritual leader. He represents our supreme or the highest priest of the land. When Ngonnso is back and she goes to perform her rituals, the normal rites she's supposed to perform as a fawn, annually or biannually at the right places where he's supposed to perform these rituals. These rituals will flow to the end without interruption, because in Africa we believe that our people who die are not dead. It's not only in Africa. If you read the Bible, the Sadducees, that's one of the things that distinguished them from the Pharisees, and they believed in life after death. They believe that there are people who die are not yet dead. So we have what we call the living dead, as described by Reverend Father Mbiydzela. NSODA and Ngonnso is a living dead.
She's alive.
She's alive. The fawn consults her. The fawn speaks to her on our behalf. Our spiritual leaders of the NSODA traditional religion consult and communicate and commune with her on our behalf. You can't be communing with somebody that does not exist. So her return is going to be a source of total cleansing of the NSODA land.
Okay. And
when that cleansing is done, you need a fertile ground for peace to reign. You need a fertile ground for certain values to evolve. And if that land is not cleansed, it's like having a stony earth.
Okay.
And you don't expect things to grow on it.
Okay. Once more, Mr. Liu and the three we found in the studio, I can't wait for the triumphant entry of Ngonnso back to NSODA land to cleanse our land and restore peace so that we can once more enjoy the beauty of our culture. I am thankful. Ngonnso in Yaoundé. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm Melissa from Bamenda. I thank you for your program, which are always educative. May God bless you, sir. Thank you very much. Bonsoir, Monsieur Liu. Les gens de NSODA disent qu'ils veulent que Ngonnso rentre, qu'il rentre comme à Wirkom Yvette à Yaoundé. Okay? Yes, definitely at Wirkom came back. Ngonnso is going to come back. What's the difference between the replica Ngonnso and the German Ngonnso? What sociopolitical impact will it create to the NSODA community if the German Ngonnso is brought back today? Comrade David is writing from Boya. A question I would like to ask is, why was it allowed in the first place to be taken? Brenda is writing from Limbe. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Only solution now is to bring back Ngonnso, is to work in spirit by mixing some African concoction to manipulate the white man, bring her back. She's asking why it was taken. It was stolen. It was not given. Good evening, Mr. Kum. I wish to tell my friends from the NSODA dynasty to stop campaigning for the return of Ngonnso because she is happily enjoying life in Germany. I don't know whether you commune or you communicate with her. Good evening, Mr. Liu. It's Ngalim Clovis from Fumbot. I really want to appreciate this program this evening because I have learned more about my NSODA land. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Kum, and to all the panel. Please, we should not always be confused with religion and tradition. Jude Peter John are followers of Christ, while Fonui, Litinui, Danui are still followers of Christ. Okay? Litinui Parfait is writing from Yaoundé. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Let the NSODA people read from the Bible, the book of John 14:47, if they are looking for peace. Okay? Yes. Everybody has a right to their thoughts and beliefs. Yes. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Do you think the Germans will let her come back just like it's like that? It's Clivet writing from Bamenda. Yes, that is why there is a campaign for it. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I would like to know who the husband of Ngonnso was and why he was not made fun. It's Cho Crispel writing from Boya. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I really love the program, but I'm somehow perplexed. I wish to know if the Ngonnso that is in the German land is still alive, because I wish to know is Ivy Lemnui from Yaoundé. Okay, what's the difference between the replica Ngonnso and German Ngonnso? Okay, yeah. Hi Leo, greetings to you and the great panelists, especially Irene, Tani. My secondary school mates, they are doing a great job. I am Josephine Bunsa in Boya. Good evening, Mr. Liu. As Ngonnso will be back, let her not join political parties, especially the CPDM. She Fred is writing from Yaoundé. Mr. Liu, I'm very thankful for this program today. It has enabled me to know my culture very well. I'm the guy who was questioning why we now have a king in authority in South Land. I'm Warson Shea, writing from Bonaberry. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I want to know the person who discovered Ngonnso in Germany. Okay, yeah, many persons are asking that same question. Hi, Mr. Liu. I stand with the NSODA community. There must be a reason why the Germans took the Ngonnso artifact. That should not relent. They should not relent their efforts in bringing back the Ngonnso Tadze countries. Writing from Santa. Now, Dr. Emmanuel. Many persons are asking whether the Germans are going to let go of Ngonnso. It's not going to be easy. Is this also a time for the NSODA people to be more united than ever to push for the return of Ngonnso?
Absolutely, Mr. Kum. This is the time for all the sons and daughters of NSODA to rally behind the the campaign of bringing Ngonnso back to NSODA, because nothing good comes easy. The Germans know why they are putting Ngonnso in captivity. It is because they know the essence, the importance of this spiritual mother, and that is why they find it difficult to let it go. And we are calling on all sons and daughters of NSODA to rally behind the NSODA campaign of bringing Ngonnso back to her dynasty, the dynasty that he founded herself, for peace to reign in NSODA. The key word that every member of your panelists have been mentioning is peace, 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 peace. This is because the NSODA man is a peace-loving person, and the absence of Ngonnso has caused a lot of calamities in our land. There's a lot of disunity. The center is no longer holding because the epicenter is in captivity in Germany, and we must rally together to fight for the release of our peacemaker.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I wish to know the year Dr. Kishani found Ngonnso in Germany. Bernard Derrick, writing from Yaoundé. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm enjoying your program so much. Though electricity has ceased, restitution of Ngonnso is not only a win to NSODA people in particular, but for Cameroon and Africa in general against colonial imperialists who attempted to destroy our culture and enforce theirs. Nuki Luis, writing from Bamenda. Ngonnso was taken after the Germans defeated the NSODA in 1904 during the NSODA resistance. They took von Sem the second, the grandfather of the present fund. It will really be good for our modern Ngonnso to be brought back, for the land to be cleansed. Dinze, writing from Yaoundé. Mr. Liu, I'm from Balinyonga. Your program is so wonderful. I lack words to say, but Banso and Bali are the king of cultures. More grace. Roland and Dipnu, one of the promoters of culture. Thank you. Roland. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Ngonnso is not more with tradition. Pa Oyoyo is writing from Douala here. Greetings to you all, and thanks for this wonderful initiative. Have learned a lot about Ngonnso. Special greetings to my brother Shea Adamu Tadze. This is Reverend Sister Kemje, watching from Yaoundé. Yes, many persons have learnt about Ngonnso this evening. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and to my elders in the panel. We really need spiritual mother Ngonnso to be so that love and peace can have a place again in our land. Emmanuel Ngansi Siwiyi, writing from Moliko in Boya. We're out of time. Yes, madam, your last word to the NSOH community?
Before I say my last word, I just wanted to tell the person who was referring us to the Bible to know that symbols are very significant in the Bible.
Okay.
When the Israelites were in the desert and they disobeyed God, they sent snakes to be biting them. What God did to appease them was to ask Moses to produce a bronze snake, which when they look, they will get well. When they were bitten by the snake, they look at it, they will get well. So what I want to tell you, my fellow men and women, is that we should join efforts to look for our spiritual mother to come back. With much effort, we are going to succeed. And we cannot do it single-handedly. Everybody should join the campaign. Even those who have relation out of maybe in Germany, they should talk to them to do something to get back our mother. And I would like to also plead with the government of Cameroon that the Ministry of Culture should do something to bring back our spiritual mother.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I love your program so much. Greetings to Mama Tani and everyone in the house. Larissa writing from Yaoundé, thank you. And certainly you have a word for the NSOH community and the government. Why not civil society organizations in Cameroon?
Well, I would like to say that the NSOH community should stand together, rally, and continue persistently to ask for their mother to come back and keep culture alive. Especially, let the children also know their history of their founding mother, Ngonnso, so that everyone should understand why we are all, the elders are rallying to bring the founder back home.
Okay, it's Bakatula Afonyoi writing from Kumbu. I wish to ask if the German government has agreed to let free of Ngonnso. Will they personally bring it back as they had taken it, or will it be the NSOH children to go and bring back their mother? Thank you. I'm sure negotiations are still going on now. That is why the campaign is going on. Good evening, beautiful people in the house. I'm enjoying your program. I love my hometown, Kumbu. Let Ngonnso be returned to the NSOH land. Let the peace and togetherness return in the NSOH land. Kuni Patience, writing from Yaoundé. About 40 years ago, she was absent. The NSOH people are still alive. She has never looked for her children for about 40 years ago. I doubt can. Okay, yeah. Yes, when you lost something and then you go looking for it, it's not because you're looking for it because you die. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm called Mbang Prince Eugene from Bafusam. I really want to ask this man who is talking about the Bible from the it to us. Is it not the same people who came and took Ngonnso from us? Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I am really enjoying your program. I can't wait to see the day like Ngonnso again. I'm really happy for this program. It's Clinton from Tatum. Greetings to my parents, my father, Shea Valentine. Comfort, thanks. Okay. Hi, Mr. Liu. Why aren't some people only striving now to get back Ngonnso? Even the Germans want to release it. It will artificial and not the original one. Brenda from Limbe. Greetings to those beautiful mothers you have there today. Yes, the original one is out there, please. It's the replica that is in sort now. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I wish to know the year Dr. Kishani found Ngonnso in Germany. Okay, that question coming up again. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I think we should allow Ngonnso to enjoy life in Germany rather than coming back to the dark continent. Wise Bishop writing from Yaoundé. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Thank you so much for making this program possible. You make me feel at home. We are Ngonnso children. We are proud of who we are. This is Lali Seraphine writing from Yaoundé. Greetings to my father, Sheikh Christopher Fortu. One last word for our televiewers and possibly people of goodwill to join in this movement for the return of Ngonnso?
Thank you very much, Mr. Leo, and thank you for the time we have spent. I'll be calling on the entire NSOH community to rally their efforts behind the agenda that the NSOH Cultural and Development Association has now, NSODA. The Cultural Renaissance Initiative is like taking us back to our roots, because we've discovered that if we go back to our roots, we'll find solutions to some of our problems. Today we had a lady from Nigeria who gave a presentation called Ms. Chimamanda Ngozi. You can realize that the call for Ngonnso to come back to NSOH is not only coming from the NSOH community, it's coming from without. So we are also appealing on those who are having our culture at heart, those who value who we are, to come out behind us. If Ngonnso comes back, the benefits are not only going to be limited to the NSOH Fondom. They will be extending to Mancon, to Bafut, to all of Africa and Cameroon. So I want to thank those who have been watching, and thank the NSOH community in Douala for being there, for being with us, and for listening to me when I lead. So I thank them very much.
Okay. Dr. Emmanuel, thank you too for taking part in today's edition of Prime Hour.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kum. As the chair of the NSODA Cultural Renaissance Initiative, I wish to sincerely appreciate His Royal Majesty Fonson Belode I, who recently, some few days ago, sent a powerful letter to the Germans, requesting for them to send back Ngonnso to the dynasty that she founded for peace to come back to the land. I also wish to express sincere gratitude to Sheikh Shinwe-Gard. Sheikh Shinwe-Gard has been doing tremendous work in the fighting of bringing back Ngonnso. I wish to thank Mrs. Sibin Jobati, who is doing marvelous work out there, and also,
Okay, we want to thank you for participating, and all of you gentlemen and ladies for taking part in today's edition of the program. We want to thank the production team, and especially you all out there who took time off to watch this edition of Prime. Stay blessed. Tomorrow we are going to have a very rich package with a discussion on the Cameroon Development Corporation, CDC. There are some villages around Fako who are asking for the CDC to hand them parcels of lands. We're going to look at the possibilities and the possible implications for all of this. Where is this coming from? So don't miss Prime tomorrow. We're going to be focusing on the CDC. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.